Let's get chatting about Mindtree. That's a stock which is currently on our radar. Today it's higher by close to about 1.5%. Let's pull up the intraday chart. We understand that the Larsen & Toubro board will be meeting today, perhaps in the first half of the trading session. Mugdha, who's been on top of the story, she was the first one to alert us that the L&T board had given its go-ahead for this hostile takeover of Mindtree, and she joins us with the latest. Mugdha?
Yes, you're right. We reported last week that L&T is set to announce its purchase of VG Siddhartha's stake in Mindtree, and they will have a board meeting today, after which they will make this announcement. And, they will acquire about 20.4% of Siddhartha's and the CCD stake in Mindtree at rupees 981 per share. And we also understand that there are some other minority shareholders who will also be selling about 3 to 4% to L&T. Now, as we had also reported, L&T is set to go for an open offer to take its stake up to 51% in Mindtree. Now, what is coming in is that Mindtree promoters, Krishna Kumar Natarajan and Rosso Ravanan, have sent a very scathing letter to the L&T board over the weekend, in which they said that, some of its clients and their employees and even investors have raised concerns about, saying that they would not like to be part of an organization that is culturally different from Mindtree. And in the letter, they said that, they had asked the L&T board to cease from pursuing Mindtree as a potential target, citing that it would be value destructive to Mindtree and all its stakeholders. So a very sharp letter there. And remember, yesterday, Mindtree co-founder Subrata Bagchi had also tweeted saying that he would return to the company to prevent any hostile takeover, which is not what he wants to see. Remember, this also comes 2 days before Mindtree is set to hold its own board meeting for the share buyback, which was seen as a move to stall the L&T takeover. But as we've said, L&T is set to announce its purchase of the stake today.
Okay, all right, Mugdha, thanks so much for that. Well, we also have Nisha who joins us. Nisha, tell us, the promoters are looking to foil the takeover by considering a buyback on Wednesday. Fill us in with those details, and you've done some math as well.
That's right, Nigel. It's takeover battle at its best. We haven't seen something like this in a very long time. So hostile takeover attempt to buy L&T, and that was tried to be defended by the Mindtree promoters by coming up with a buyback, which is set to be announced on Wednesday. But preempting that buyback, now L&T is trying to foil their plans by coming out with an announcement today. What it does is, any sort of public announcement with respect to like an open offer which L&T will be making will really hinder any capital structure change thereafter unless a 75% shareholder nod is taken. That makes Mindtree's buyback extremely difficult. Now, the normal rule suggests that up to 10% any promoter can ask for a buyback through a simple board resolution. 10 to 25% requires a 51% ordinary shareholder approval. But with a public announcement which L&T will be making with respect to this transaction, it makes it more stringent, and 75% of the shareholders will have to vote in favor through a special resolution, which makes buyback attempt by Mindtree promoters extremely difficult at this point, because you look at the numbers, 20% stake is already with VG Siddhartha and CCD, which are tying up with L&T on this transaction. So yes, a counter-attack coming in by L&T, but we can expect more attacks coming in from Mindtree promoters as well, so watch out for that.
Thank you, Nisha, for that. Even if Mindtree goes ahead with the buyback, they manage to get the shareholder approval, it will only increase the promoter's stake marginally by a couple of percentage points, because Mindtree's buyback could be to the size of, 800 crores, roughly thereabout, even if they do the maximum 25%.
Actually, I think the net worth is only 3,200 crores. So if they do 10%, it's only 320 crores, and that's only 2% of its current market capitalization.
I'm guessing in this case they'll want to do
25% as well. Even if they do, Rima, it's only 750 crores, and that's only 4.5% of current market capitalization.
So it's not going to help the promoters shore up their stake, but at best what it can do is increase the acquisition price for the minority shareholders.
Absolutely.
But remember, on the other hand, you're competing with a conglomerate like Larsen & Toubro, and I guess if they're willing to take this battle the ugly way, they're willing to do a hostile takeover, they will be willing to spend that extra cash and match the buyback offer and lure in the minority shareholders. But very interesting times, and as our colleagues have been reporting, this will perhaps be the first time that we will have a hostile takeover in an Indian IT space. It's rare to see it in technology companies because people are your biggest assets, and in a hostile takeover, it's your people who get affected. But earlier today, we spoke with fundamental experts, Mr. S.P. Tulsian, as well as Ravi Menon, the analyst at Elara, to get a sense of what they make of L&T's possible hostile takeover of Mindtree. Hear them out.
I don't think that the minority shareholder should have any complaint, because basically I'm taking a call on the P expansion, because if the company which has a P multiple presently of about maybe 16 or maybe 15 or 16 on FY20 earnings, and if the company is acquired by the L&T while the two twins of the L&Ts are enjoying, again they are also in the mid-cap IT companies only, and if they are enjoying the P multiple of 20 plus based on their FY20 earnings, then definitely that is seen positive for the minority shareholders.
If L&T has to pay a significant premium over the current share price, will LTI shareholders be happy with that? That's the problem I think that L&T faces. So for the additional 6%, how much premium will they have to pay? So the combined entity, and then can they make a case to the shareholders that yes, the combined entity is actually better off, and there will not be any significant, say, client loss or major senior management loss from Mindtree, even if the takeover is hostile. I think that the combined entity is definitely a stronger company. You look at it, the verticals are largely complementary. There is good rationale for the merger, but the founders being hostile, it is very difficult to achieve that. India's takeover laws are not really conducive to delisting either. So it will have to be a share swap afterwards, and what will be the swap ratio arrived at. But I think that at least one thing is sure: Mindtree's minority shareholders will not get a raw deal out of this.
Absolutely. You were saying something, sorry.
No, just the point that you were making, Rima, in terms of L&T, I think we should pull up the other stock, that's L&T Infotech, right? That's the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, so what Ravi was later saying, that eventually it appears that the plan could be to merge L&T Infotech as well as Mindtree, because they both operate in the same business, and therefore they will, a merger between the two will increase the scale.
Yes.
So each vertical gets scaled up. So it's not that they operate in complementary verticals, but they operate in the same vertical. Same geographies. So this merger between the two will give them heft. It will increase their scale. So in that sense, he believes that merger will make sense. But as Mugdha has been reporting, it's not on the cards immediately. Right now, they just want to merge L&T and buy out Mindtree, operate the entities separately, because all these companies are actually having good momentum in terms of business execution. They don't want to risk that. And eventually, maybe they will consider a merger between LTI as well as Mindtree.
All right, Rima. Well, that's about both those two companies, and that's going to be the top story today, what's happening in the mid-cap IT space. But keep an eye out on the markets. We were up nearly around 100 points in early morning trade. Now we've come off the top, and a whole host of stocks are seeing some selling. Even banking names. The bank Nifty was seeing a big rally. So let's pull up the intraday chart of the Nifty Bank. That's up only around 50 points now. From the top, it's seen a big correction of more than 150 points. And big names, HDFC Bank, that's the big one in there in terms of the banking index. That's come off the top. And even Kotak Mahindra Bank, that had a big run in the last couple of trading sessions, that one as well. I think the intraday chart should come up for you. So a lot of these banking stocks, they're getting sold into. The Nifty Bank is off the high point of the day. The Nifty as well is off the high point of the day. And the mid-cap index is now down nearly around 75 points odd. So let's take a short break. As we do that, let's get you some market opinion coming in from Atul Suri, the CEO PMS at Marathon Trends, of what he makes of the market as well as various sectors.
Elections. There can be multiple outcomes. It's not a binary option. There can be 4 or 5 outcomes if you really look at it, if you read politics. But the fact is that irrespective of that, the bigger thing, the bigger trend is what's happening to global markets. You will have short-term volatility. You will go through ups and downs. But I think that the bigger trend is global, or the scenario that I've been talking about. The fear was that US Fed would continue tightening. And post those statements, the rally that you saw in the US was ferocious. And along with that, very often US may rally, but EMs don't rally, like we saw in last year. But the beauty is that I feel the EM market has made a higher bottom, higher top. It's made a reversal. We are experiencing a global bull market, and India is doing a very big catch-up. A lot of domestic people are very obsessed with elections and what is the BJP number, will Modi be, not be, etc., etc. But I think that is really the minor story. If someone came out and told you that we would have a border problem and we would have some sort of, action happening the way it did, and you will start seeing record FII flows, you will see the market rally, no one would believe you. But the market has a way of surprising. And I think the big story here is a big global catch-up rally that's happening in India. I feel that the Dow is very interestingly poised at just sub 26,000. If the Dow takes out this 26,000 level, it corrected a wee bit, but if it takes it out and does a credible breakout, I feel the Dow is going to a new lifetime high.